Senator Sanders.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Mr. Bisignano. Mr. Bisignano, in your opening remarks, you mentioned that last year the Inspector General reported that the error rate in Social Security was less than 1%, and it was an error rate that you wanted to improve upon. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. But in his State of the Union address, listened to by millions and millions of Americans, President Trump suggested that, quote, millions and millions, end of quote, of Social Security checks are going out to people who are between the ages of 140 and 360 years old. Millions and millions of checks. You've just acknowledged what is true, is that the error rate in Social Security is less than 1%, 99 point whatever of the people who get their checks paid into the system and deserve those checks. So what I want to ask you is, do you think that President Trump was just expressing an outrageous lie, which I happen to believe, trying to undermine Social Security, or was he just grossly uninformed about the reality?
I think what the president was representing, which further was represented again and proven to be accurate, is that there were millions of Social Security records that did not have people deceased.
Let's not play with words. What you have just acknowledged is that in 2024, the Social Security Administration paid out over 99 point whatever percent of people eligible. The error rate was less than 1%. Millions and millions and millions of people, 200 or 300 years of age, did not get checks. Is that true?
What I represented was that a 1% error rate in a mission-critical function like Social Security is way too high.
I agree with you.
That,
excuse me, I don't have much time.
Sorry.
President said millions and millions of people. You're saying, and you're right, less than 1%. You want to improve it? You're right. Let's do it. President was lying. And what he was trying to do was undermine the foundations of Social Security by saying the system is out of control. All right, my next question is, Senator Daines made a good point. You call up Social Security today, it's a disaster. Why, if right now it is hard for people to get through in Vermont and all over this country, why do you think the Social Security Administration is now closing down offices and laying off 7,000 employees? And we have heard from Mr. Dudek that he wants to cut up to half of Social Security's workforce. When the department is now understaffed, people can't get through. Do you think it makes sense to lay off half the staff?
First and foremost, I'm not there, sir.
Just answer the question, please. Do you think it makes sense? I know you're not there. Do you think it makes sense to lay off half of the staff when right now it is at a 50-year low in terms of staffing?
Well, I don't know where Mr. Dudek gets his information from. And I don't communicate with Mr. Dudek.
I'll just ask you, I mean, I think what Mr. Senator Daines said was right. Tough to get through right now. I think common sense would suggest that when it's bad now, you don't lay off half your staff. Would you agree with me?
I believe that we can drive efficiency for the rest of our life.
Right.
I also understand that it takes 20+ minutes to answer the phone.
On a good day.
Right. Well, that's the average published, right? It's not how I would report the numbers because I think...
All right, but all that I'm asking, when you have a system that is not working now, do you think it's a great idea to lay off half of the employees?
I don't know if... do I think it's a great idea to lay off half of the employees when a system doesn't work? I think the answer is probably no.
Okay. I now want to ask you another question, more philosophical, if you like. I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, and you made $100 million recently in compensation in a given year? All right, my question is not to deal with that per se, but right now we have 22% of seniors are trying to survive on less than $15,000 a year. A lot of people, older people, living in desperation in America. Some of us want to expand Social Security benefits because we think people should not be living on $15,000 a year. We're concerned about the solvency of Social Security. We want to extend it beyond where it is right now. Do you agree with me that it does not make sense to somebody like yourself who makes $100 million a year in compensation to be paying the same amount into Social Security as somebody who makes $176,000? Or would you work with me to raise that cap so more money can come into the system?
I know there's an actuarial function in the area. I know it's analytics. I'm a fact-based, rule-based person. I'm happy to study anything and work side by side with you, sir.
All right, all I ask in general right now, the system is stressed
I'm sorry?
financially.
I'm sorry?
The system is stressed now financially. We want to increase the solvency and increase the benefits. Is it a good idea to remove the cap, which is now at, I think, $174,000, so that wealthy people contribute more into the system?
I don't think that's the commissioner's job at all, sir. I think the commissioner's job is to run the agency right. I'm happy to provide all the information you want, and I'm happy to be a partner in solving every problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
Senator Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And my questions are going to be addressed to all five. We have 5 experts on anti-Semitism, and I look forward to taking advantage of their knowledge. This is not the Foreign Relations Committee, so we're not here to debate the wisdom or lack of wisdom of what the Netanyahu government is doing in Gaza right now. But the reality is that 92% of the housing units in Gaza have been destroyed. Most hospitals and primary healthcare facilities have been bombed. Civilian infrastructure has been devastated. 50,000 people, mostly women and children, have been killed. Over 100,000 have been wounded. If I or any other member of this committee makes that point, that we think, and again, I don't want to debate the policies right now, but if we think that the United States should not be supplying more bombs and artillery to the Netanyahu government, do you think, I don't want the debate on Israel, do you think that is anti-Semitic? Briefly, Ms. Gamble, start it and go right down the line. Am I being anti-Semitic if I say that the United States taxpayers should not supply more weapons to Israel?
That statement alone is not anti-Semitic. It does not attack Jewish identity.
Rabbi?
I must say, you are revered on one side of the aisle and respected on the other side of the aisle for the strength of your convictions. You do not say dispassionate statements. So just like I believe we have to respect the right of everyone to their opinion, I believe the Prime Minister is a democratically elected official and is entitled to his opinion. Do I think it is anti-Semitic to criticize him? I don't think so. If you criticize somebody who's Jewish, that's not anti-Semitic. If you criticize the fact that they're Jewish,
Right,
or use that to criticize something, that's anti-Semitic.
Dr. Small, briefly, we don't have a lot of time.
So again, I would agree with the rabbi. What you said is not anti-Semitic, but what I would say with great respect is that we have to flip the equation. I think instead of blaming the victim or looking to the victim of Hamas, of the Muslim Brotherhood, we have to understand the ideology at work that's confronting
I don't think there's any
Israel.
debate up here that Hamas is a terrorist organization. What they did on October 7th is beyond disgusting. Rabbi Saperstein.
No, I don't think it is anti-Semitic if you say it, or if people on college campuses say it. But on college campuses, there are too many instances in which those kinds of political statements are mixed with rank hatred against Jews, and that steps over the line into anti-Semitism.
Mr. Cerny.
Senator Sanders, that statement, that opinion alone is not anti-Semitic.
Okay, now I need your help on something else. I have never met George Soros in my life, to the best of my knowledge. I don't believe I've ever received a nickel in campaign funding from Mr. Soros. But I think, as all of you know, Soros has been a stereotype, a manifestation of anti-Semitism all over the world. Yes? Warren? So when we talk about anti-Semitism, one of the tropes that has always been used, Prodigals of Zion, is that there's this mysterious underground group of zillionaire Jews who are manipulating the whole world, right? Is that the trope? Okay. This, from the Holocaust Memorial Museum, is something that appeared in Hungary, a Hungarian anti-Semitic publication. Jews puppeteers, right? Familiar with that trope? This is from a Donald Trump campaign email. George Soros, puppeteer. Biden is the puppet being manipulated. Okay. I don't want to make a big deal about it. Ms. Gamble, does that look to you like an anti-Semitic trope?
I think that there's no question that there is a relationship when you look at the two images that would cause that question to be raised. Again, I think context is key.
Rabbi?
George
Briefly, I want to hear from everybody. Yes or no? Is that do you think that has anti-Semitic overtones?
I think that George Soros is Jewish, although he doesn't really identify closely with the community.
okay.
1 minute.
No, you don't have 1 minute. I got 17 seconds, sir.
Okay, 17 seconds.
Is this anti-Semitic?
Very simply, he's being criticized. He's Jewish. I don't know that he's being criticized because he's Jewish.
All right, Dr. Simone?
And I would say very briefly, we're living in a time where the Democratic center is under attack from the extreme right, the extreme left, and radical Islam.
I asked you a question. Does this look like an anti-Semitic trope?
Yes.
Rabbi Saperstein?
Yes.
Mr. Stern?
Anti-Semitism is two things in its essence: a conspiracy theory that Jews try to harm humanity and giving them an explanation for what goes wrong in the world. That picture is anti-Semitic. Orban was using it recently as well, clearly anti-Semitic.
Okay, thank you very much.
Senator Collins.